Welcome back to the Crisis Report. It is April 1st, 2025. There could be a lot of April Fools out there. I won't be doing any jokes or pranks or anything for April Fools, but I will tell you this. There are a lot of people that are saying this is going to be a dangerous April from a viral video going around by The Simpsons, which was AI created, saying that the president will be unalived on April 12th. Other things going on, of course, but the main thing is that there is a major buildup in the Middle East, and it's getting pretty contentious. It's getting pretty precarious, worrisome. So we're going to cover all of that. All the other irons and the fires of conflict are going on around all of us, and we will be covering it all. That's what we do here on the Crisis Report, which is the most comprehensive news on YouTube. So settle back, get yourself a coffee. Unfortunately, I was thinking about it. The days of the can cracking open whoosh are probably not going to be here for maybe on the weekends, but this will continue to roll on the morning style of about 6:20 to 6:30 after I get the latest intel that is out there. So we're drinking coffee at this point. I'm actually having an iced coffee, this stuff I like to drink. So we're going to get rolling right now. Really appreciate you being here. Hit the like button, do the subscribe thing, darken out the bell. Actually grown a little bit in the last couple weeks, so I don't know what's going on. If you like what we're doing, maybe you'd like to be like Monkey Food Garden and others and join us as a member, or go on to Subscribe Star and Locals. I was actually out of the craziness of the weekend and started posting there. Let you get better. I had a real crazy weekend. But we had tournament and traveling and everything else. It was a lot. So we are here now and we are ready to do the intel. So settle in. This is your Crisis Report for April Fool's Day, April 1st, 2025. Here we go. Kremlin issued a statement on the French court's decision banning Marine Le Pen from running on the next presidential elections. Russian Federation says it deplores the violation of democratic norms in France. That, of course, is the huge story yesterday when we opened up that right-wing candidate and current leader for the position of president, Marine Le Pen, was she got busted for embezzling, they said. But the way it was is, to give you the breakdown version of what it was she was supposedly embezzling was, she had campaign funds, and they were supposed to be used to get her position in politics secured in France, and she supposedly had crossed it up and was using those money to get into a position for the European Union, for the greater portion of Europe. So she had money, she was doing her political thing. It was, according to their law, supposed to be only used for France, and she was using it for political gains in European Union. I mean, it's literally, she wasn't really misusing it, she just was using it for the Union instead of France. So and there's other people that have done this, and nothing happened to them. There's a slap on the wrist at most. So it's pretty much at this point understood that it's targeting. So what they're doing over in Europe and other places like Jair Bolsonaro and other right-leaning people, we all saw what happened over here. They're going after them through the judiciary and through election laws and through everything. I mean, just to stop them, because people are tired of the march to globalism, and so these people are rising up and they're winning, And so the people that are pushing us to the march of globalism are doing everything they can to stop them in creative ways, and often ways that really don't make sense. So that's what you have to contend with. That's what's going on around us right now. And if you don't like the march to globalism, then you're going to have to step up and start putting your voice out there. Dmitry Peskov, Kremlin. More and more European capitals are going down the path of trampling over democratic norms. Of course, we do not want to interfere France's internal affairs. We have never done so. This is France's internal affair. But in general, our observation, fix that a little bit, of European capitals show that they are not all reluctant to go beyond democracy during the political process. And that's kind of what all these other people are saying. It's like you sit here and you cry and whine about democracy, but you aren't letting just a natural democratic process happen. You're getting rid of political opponents because you disagree with what they have to say and do. Kremlin on Le Pen says more and more European capitals are following the path of trampling on democratic norms. Le Pen has been leading in the polls since before she was barred from running in 2027. New Journal Dimanche survey put Marine Le Pen at 34 to 37%. First round voting intentions of the 2027 French presidential election, 10 points higher than in 2022. This made her the strongest early front-runner in decades, rivaling past presidents Mitterrand and Sarkozy. Edouard Philippe trails 20 to 25%, but his momentum is stalled. Prime Minister Gabriel Attal nears 20%, despite not yet declaring his candidacy. Far-right support of Le Pen's Zemmour Dupont-Aignan has reached a record 45% because they just don't like what's going on. I've shared on my Telegram this neighborhood that got visited by a couple police cars, and the police cars were run out and almost taken out by the locals, and the French police were actually almost like running over people and trying to get away. It was a pretty intense moment, but those things are going on. It's the country's in a lot of problems. French politician Eric Ciotti, after the Le Pen ban, said, "I wonder if France is still a democracy." Hungary's Prime Minister Orban on it says, "Je suis marine," meaning I am marine. French politician Jordan Bardella on Le Pen ban says this is the execution of French democracy. Bardella is likely to take her place as the party's candidate for 2027, and he will win. They can take them all out. It doesn't matter what they do to them. People are tired of the politics as usual, and they will vote for the person that will give them not the politics of usual. So this isn't going to work. Italian politician Matteo Salvini on Le Pen. This is a declaration of war from Brussels. European stock markets, Paris, Frankfurt, Milan drop over 2% by the mid-session of the Le Pen ban. Commander of IRGC Aerospace Force Brigadier General Amir Ali Hajizadeh. Those who live in glass houses do not throw stones. The Americans have at least 10 bases with 50,000 troops in the region. It's as if they're sitting in a glass room. Kind of a warning. Far-right leader leads Romania's presidential polls. George Simeon, head of the far-right AUR party, tops a new poll ahead of Romania's presidential election with 31.7%, surpassing rivals. PSD ruling party 21.2%, Victor Ponta 21.1%, Nicusor Dan 20.8%. Key points on Simeon is he pushes to restore Romania's pre-World War II borders, including claims on parts of Moldova, Ukraine, and Bulgaria. Banned from Ukraine for nationalistic rhetoric, criticizes mainstream politicians, but remains pro-EU for now. Far-right candidate Călin Georgescu was barred from the May election due to electoral violations. His 2024 win was overturned by Russian interference in illegal campaign funds. So, if they don't like you, they say that you're doing bad things and they take you off the ballot. Bardella is going to step in for Le Pen in 2027. Of course, Marine Le Pen had her whole thing going, but National Rally President Jordan Bardella is now widely seen as the party's likely candidate for 2027. Bardella, Le Pen's 28-year-old protege, has led the RN since 2022 but remains less prominent nationally. With Le Pen sidelined, Bardella must now fill the void and build his own public profile ahead of 2027. Bardella is now about to be the far right's de facto leader and a shadow president in an opposition strategy. He can do it. There should be some kind of deadline for Russia accepting a ceasefire in Ukraine, Polish Foreign Minister Radoslaw Sikorski said. Brazil's Bolsonaro said a situation faced by Le Pen mirrors what I'm going through here. Slovak Prime Minister Robert Fico, von der Leyen called me an idiot today. I had a phone call. The European Commission President Ursula von der Leyen. We discussed two topics. The first was the tariffs imposed against us. She absolutely tore into me. Robert, what have you done? Why on earth did you negotiate with Trump like that? Are you out of your mind? She berated me for a half an hour, calling me a complete idiot. Because you got to be bought and paid for globalist politician in Europe. Okay? That's the only thing that's acceptable over there. Several members of TDA and MS-13 were transferred to CICOT, maximum security prison in Tecoluca, El Salvador. Tren de Aragua is a Venezuelan-based gang. We all know about them, heard about them. They've been involved in all kinds of nasty crap. MS-13 is the same way, but they're from Salvadoran immigrants in Los Angeles. Again, very violent. These are terrible, terrible gangs we don't want in our streets. But don't worry, there's another judge that down the line here has gone out of his way to make it so these people will stay here. Trump is planning to travel to Saudi Arabia in May. Kremlin said that Russia and the United States were working on ideas for possible peace settlement in Ukraine and on building bilateral ties, despite U.S. President Donald Trump saying that he was pissed off with Vladimir Putin. Elon Musk on Le Pen ban said radical left abuses the legal system to jail their opponents. Trump's tariffs will end unfair trade practices. The rest of the world will feel what the U.S. public has felt, according to the White House. Also said steps have been taken to ensure signal chat issues never happen again. Le Pen, the court sought to deliberately block me from running in 2027. Trump said to stop shooting at U.S. ships, and he will stop shooting at you. Otherwise, we have only just begun, and the real pain is yet to come for both the Houthis and the sponsors in Iran. Israeli Finance Minister Bezalel Smotrich resigned from his position in protest against Ben-Gvir's request for an additional ministerial position. Advisor to the Iranian leader Ali Larijani. Any American mistake regarding our nuclear program could force us, under pressure from the people, to manufacture a nuclear weapon. Doge has found that millions of illegal immigrants admitted under Biden are receiving maximum taxpayer-funded benefits, with many doing other things in 2024. This is covered on the video from PrepperNow yesterday. This is covered on many people's videos today, because I always get things before. But, you know, they say that that was the goal. So now it's becoming out more and more that there's a lot of things, and the veneer of this great blue wall that they're trying to put out there isn't quite as strong as they would have you think. In fact, most people just want a nice, normal, down-the-center country, and these people are doing whatever it is they're doing. It's starting to be outed. Elon Musk visiting CIA headquarters. BlackRock CEO Larry Fink warns the dollar could lose its status as world reserve currency. Elon Musk's Doge team is handing over evidence to DHS connecting Social Security fraud and election fraud. Alberta, Canada, exploring the possibility of seceding and becoming part of the United States. That would be an interesting move. Don't know if it's true. Iran could immediately launch a preemptive attack on a U.S.-UK base housing B-2 bombers. Netanyahu says that Trump's plan to relocate Palestinians from Gaza is Israel's strategy and that it is ready to discuss it at any time. Iran has rejected directed negotiations with the U.S. in response to Trump's letter. Iran's president said Sunday that the Islamic Republic rejected direct negotiations with the United States over its rapidly advancing nuclear program, offering Tehran's first response to a letter that U.S. President Donald Trump sent to the country's supreme leader. Trump won't rule out seeking a third term in the White House. He did not rule it out. The possibility of seeking that third term, prohibited by the Constitution under the 22nd Amendment, saying in an exclusive interview with NBC that their methods and clarifying that he was not joking. I don't think he's joking, but I think he says that stuff because he knows it's going to rile people up. Non-white criminal suspects will now officially be given priority for bail as new two-tier justice system takes effect in the United Kingdom. More changes to sentencing and jail time will also be coming, with non-whites being automatically given more lenient sentences than white Britons. President Trump has warned he'll impose secondary tariffs on Iran if it doesn't move toward ending its nuclear program. I would prefer to deal to other alternatives, which I think everybody on this plane knows what that is. That's not going to be pretty. Israeli media claims that Hezbollah has decided to take action against Israel from Iraqi territory in response to Israeli airstrikes on Lebanon, as it cannot operate from Syria and seeks to avoid endangering Lebanon. Indirect communications have been established between the United States and Iran regarding a framework for discussions on a new nuclear agreement aimed at preventing an American attack. Sources say Israel Hayom. Al Arabiya, quoting Houthi media, reported a while ago United States bombings on the capital of Sana'a. That's been ongoing. They're just always bombing them now. U.S. President Donald Trump says Houthi terror have been decimated by U.S. military strikes over the past weeks, stating that if the Houthis stop firing missiles on cargo ships passing on Red Sea's shipping lanes, the United States of America will stop bombing their areas in Yemen. Iran-backed Houthi terrorists have been just decimated by the relentless strikes over the past 2 weeks. Many of their fighters and leaders are no longer with us. We hit them every day and night, harder and harder. Their capabilities that threaten shipping and the region are rapidly being destroyed. Our attacks will continue until they are no longer a threat to freedom of navigation. The choice for the Houthis is clear. Stop shooting at the United States ships and we will stop shooting at you. Otherwise, we have only just begun, and the real pain is yet to come for both Houthis and their sponsors in Iran. State Department to Al Arabiya says Iran's behavior around the world threatens our interests and the interests of our partners. Trump has reestablished the maximum pressure on Iran to remove its nuclear threat. We will seek other options if the Iranian regime rejects Trump's message. We will resort to very bad options for Iranian regime if it rejects Trump's message. Airstrikes target weapons caches in Yemen. 3 U.S. airstrikes in Al-Dailami Air Base, which shared a runway with Sana'a International Airport. Iranian armed forces have called for preemptive strikes on the Diego Garcia military base before America uses it to target Iran, Telegraph said, citing an Iranian official. Keir Starmer backs Netflix's plan to screen adolescents in all secondary schools across the UK to prevent young boys being dragged into the whirlpool of hatred and misogyny. I'm sure it's some woke crap that they're going to force feed down to all the kids about some situation that would never happen. Iranian-backed Houthi terrorist group in western Yemen officially claims to have downed their 17th United States Air Force MQ-9 Reaper surveillance and attack drone tonight over the Maghrib Governorate using surface-to-air missiles. Media aligned with Houthi terrorists says that the United States Navy is carrying out extensive, large-scale bombing in Sa'ada area. Last night, observers reported a significant movement from Osan Air Base, Republic of Korea, to Isa Air Base, Kingdom of Bahrain, by the United States military. At least 13 U.S. Air Force C-17A Globemaster IIIs have arrived in Osan last 3 days. 4 of them left Osan and arrived at Isa Air Base. Mission coding is sequential, suggesting the flights are linked. It is unknown what is being transferred from Osan to Isa. Multiple military transport cargo aircraft from U.S. Air Force's Air Mobility Command, or AMC, originally coming from Osan and Ramstein under Eurocom, are arriving in the Middle East. This includes a C-5M Super Galaxy currently crossing Turkey. Over 24 flights originating from Osan have arrived in Isa, Bahrain, and other U.S. allied air bases in the region over the last week. According to observers, it's believed that the planes are carrying air defense systems such as the MIM-104 Patriot surface-to-air missile and, of course, the THAAD, or Terminal High Altitude Air Defense anti-ballistic missile system. C-17 Globemaster III's movement across the Pacific continues, 16 landing at Osan. From the U.S. over the past 3 days, C-17s then continue to travel to Isa. Initial reports, unconfirmed, however, say that the cargo being moved are likely air defenses, Patriots, and such. 5 U.S. C-5 Galaxy military transport aircrafts currently en route from CENTCOM Al Udeid Air Base, Qatar. Communist China military has announced it is conducting joint Army-Navy rocket force exercises around the Republic of China, which is also known as Taiwan. These drills mainly focus on sea air command readiness patrols, assaults on maritime and ground targets, blockades on key areas and sea lanes, and test the joint operations capability of its troops, PLA's Eastern Theater Command said in a statement. Communist China state media, Global Times, reports that the People's Liberation Army's Eastern Theater Command started to conduct joint exercises around Taiwan Island on Tuesday. Command released the theme poster called Closing In, Sinister Moves of Taiwan Separatists Courting Disaster Upon Themselves, reads the propaganda. Federal judge in California has ruled in favor of Venezuelans and suspended the cancellation of the TPS extension. Court finds that the Secretary's action threatens to cause irreparable harm to hundreds of thousands of people whose lives, families, and livelihoods will be severely disrupted, cost the United States billions in economic activity, and harm public health and safety in communities across the country, the judge's document said. So, no comment. Republic of China, Taiwan Armed Forces detected 19 communist warships, Shandong Aircraft Carrier Group, around Taiwan Islands in the latest provocation. 4 astronauts are now sent to orbit the poles on privately funded SpaceX mission. China warns Taiwan's independence means war as launches drills around the island. Khomeini showed today that he is more afraid of the start of a popular protest than a military attack on nuclear facilities. In his speech, he declared a war on the people in advance and caused the called people protest enemy riots in a country that will be suppressed by the nation on the spot. Khomeini believes that in the event of an attack on nuclear facilities, by managing the reactions, the regime may ultimately have a chance to survive. But if the people rise up again, the Islamic Republic will no longer have the strength and power to contain it. Following a harsh article against Trump that was written last year by a Major General retired Eli Shadavit, Netanyahu is expected to cancel his appointment as the new head of the Shin Bet. President Trump on the operations against the Houthis via Truth Social said the Iranian-backed Houthi terrorists have been decimated by the relentless strikes over the past 2 weeks. Many of the fighters and leaders are no longer with us. Our attacks will continue until they are no longer a threat to freedom of navigation. The choice for the Houthis is clear. Stop shooting at United States ships and we will stop shooting at you. Otherwise, we have only just begun and the real pain is yet to come for both the Houthis and their sponsors in Iran. Israel's proposal to Hamas has been rejected. It released 10 live hostages in exchange for some of their people in the key to be determined. Release of Idan Alexander, a tribute to Trump, 40-day ceasefire. On the 5th day, Hamas will provide information on all hostages, both living and dead. On the 10th day, Hamas will release 16 bodies of hostages during the ceasefire discussions on the next stage of the deal. But that didn't happen. An attack on Iran requires attacking Iran's main underground nuclear facilities, such as Isfahan, Natanz, and Fordow, but without attacking other underground infrastructure that Iran has established in Tehran, Qom, and Isfahan areas, it will quickly return to producing and placing new generation centrifuge farms in protected underground sites that are currently used for missiles. So I think they're just kind of saying you're going to need to bunker bust. Obama appointed Judge Edward Chen has blocked Trump from revoking temporary protected status for 350,000 Venezuelans. President Trump says he would love to face former President Barack Obama in a race for a third term. Federal judge has blocked the Trump administration from firing any CIA or Office of the Director of National Intelligence employees involved in DEI. Russia's top prosecutor has requested the removal of the Taliban from the country's terrorism list following Putin's remarks on a trusted ally. Urgent recall for 200,000 pounds of liquid eggs due to a possible bleach contamination. So, be careful of those. President Donald Trump said he plans to reach out to North Korea at some point, reiterated that he has a very good relationship with leader Kim Jong-un. It's very important, Trump said. There's a big nuclear nation, and he is a very smart guy. European Union has planned to counteract the swath of tariffs U.S. President Trump is planning to impose on foreign goods. European Commission President Ursula von der Leyen has said, Europe has not started this confrontation. We do not necessarily want to retaliate, but we have a strong plan to if we have to. Germany is set to deport 4 young foreign residents over alleged involvement in protests against Israel's war in Gaza. With no convictions, the cases draw a comparison to United States deportation tactics against social movements. Israel, alarmed by possible Turkish military bases in Syria. Israeli security source says if a Turkish airbase is established in Syria, it would undermine Israel's freedom of operation. This is a potential threat that we oppose. We targeted the military T4 base recently to send a message that we will not allow harm to our air freedom of operation. Fire broke out at a Tesla dealership outside Rome, destroying at least 17 vehicles. Italian authorities are investigating as a possible arson attack, you think. Elon Musk called it terrorism, tying it to global vandalism against Tesla. AI program ChatGPT refused when asked to generate an image of the Prophet Muhammad due to what it asserted was credible, historically demonstrated threat of violent backlash. At least 112 people were injured after a gas pipeline exploded in Malaysia. Big old mushroom cloud from that sucker. U.S. is sending the B-1 Lancer strategic bombers to Middle East. Muslim man entered the Basilica of St. Peter in Rome and damaged 6 chandeliers before being apprehended by authorities. Khomeini aide says Iran will have no choice but to acquire nukes if attacked. United States 3-month Treasury yield went from 4.2% to 4.7% as the year of 2025 AD enters on April month. It happens very likely due to traders and market anticipation of the reciprocal tariffs announced April 2nd, 2025, the long-awaited Liberation Day of America. These could make inflation go up and affect interest rates, impacting yields directly. Elon Musk says if the ship of America sinks, we will all sink with it. I will die in America. I'm not going anywhere. I might go to Mars, but that will be part of America. And now we've got humanoid robots with humanoid robot figure company, which is called Figure, releasing a new video of its robots working on BMW's production line. Not a test environment, but the real operation, the real production line. You might want to tell your youngins that if they're sitting there playing the video games all day long, their jobs, that manual labor stuff, in the not-so-distant future is going to be gone. And they better put the Fortnite down and get their butts in gear. Friends, that's your crisis report for April 1st, 2025. 25. No jokes about it, no fools about it. If you're no fool, if you're here on the Crisis Report, you are informed. This is the most comprehensive news on YouTube. We really appreciate you being here. Hit that like button, do the subscribe thing. Consider joining us as a member here, like Roger McKeon and others. $2 a month gets you all the intel and some stuff in the background. Also, there's Subscribestar and Locals. Also, there is Gab Minds Truth and Twitter X. Join us there. I've been posting a lot lately now that I'm getting back in the swing of things, but I really appreciate you. And we will see you on the next one. God bless.